On the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, the Israel State Archives has made available to the public a large collection of archival materials revealed for the first time since the war. The collection is currently available mainly only in Hebrew and provides a glimpse into the decision-making processes during the war. ILTV's William Sharon has the report.
The Israel State Archives have revealed to the public a large collection of materials, many of which were uncovered for the first time 50 years after the war. The story of Yom Kippur War as we know it was convoluted, heavily calculated, and featured some of the most recognizable Israeli figures such as Golda Meir, Moshe Dayan, and Ariel Sharon. The archive contains a massive scope of materials reflecting all the aspects of the war and the calculations behind every step. These hundreds of thousands of archived files, including the government's deliberations in military political consultations, cabinet meetings, meetings of the Knesset committees, testimonies, report and assessments. The collection also contains many photographs, sounds, recordings, and films. In addition, the ISA presented a renewed publication, The Story of the Yom Kippur War, Day by Day, which tells the story of the war in 27 separate chapters, with each one dedicated to storytelling the events of one day in the war.
Experience the power of truth with ILTV News. If you're looking for quality content and captivating visuals, join our news community and become an integral part of our team as we embark on a mission to unveil the real Israel, dismantling the web of lies and misinformation that surround reporting on Israel. By subscribing to ILTV News, you will not only have access to the latest updates, but you will also amplify our message, creating a ripple effect that carries the truth far and wide. Subscribe today and help reshape the narrative. Available on the web, Android, and Apple. Elon Musk is taking aim at the Anti-Defamation League and accusing it of bringing down ad revenues on X, formerly known as Twitter, by 60%. The ADL, in turn, has expressed its concern with the growing anti-Semitism on the platform. More in the following story. Tech billionaire and owner of X, formerly known as Twitter, threatened to sue the Anti-Defamation League this week for some $22 billion. The Anti-Defamation League is one of the leading anti-hate organizations in the world, with a mission to stop the defamation of the Jewish people and fight all forms of anti-Semitism and bias. Over the last several days, Musk has been actively tweeting against the group and CEO Jonathan Greenblatt after boosting a white supremacist's anti-IDL campaign on Twitter with the hashtag #BanTheADL. In his latest tweet, he blamed the Anti-Defamation League for kicking off a massive Twitter boycott campaign, claiming that revenue decreased by 60%. Earlier in the week, Musk tweeted, "To clear our platform's name on the matter of anti-Semitism, it looks like we have no choice but to file a defamation lawsuit against the Anti-Defamation League." Oh, the irony. Musk also tweeted that since the acquisition of Twitter in October of 2022, the ADL has been trying to kill this platform by falsely accusing it and me of being anti-Semitic. To clarify his stance, though, Musk recently issued a tweet saying, "To be super clear, I'm pro-free speech but against anti-Semitism of any kind." In response, ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt released a statement on Tuesday and said it is profoundly disturbing that Elon Musk spent the weekend engaging with a highly toxic anti-Semitic campaign on his platform. The statement said that Musk's actions and threats are taking place in the context of the highest number of anti-Semitic incidents that ADL has tracked in more than 40 years, and just 2 weeks away from the Jewish holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Greenblatt went on to call Musk's behavior not just alarming nor reckless, but flat-out dangerous and deeply irresponsible. And joining us now with more on the threat of legal action against the Anti-Defamation League by Elon Musk surrounding X, formerly known as Twitter, is Arsen Ostrovsky, attorney and CEO of the International Legal Forum. Arsen, always great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
So a lot of issues to discuss here. Let's start with the threat of a lawsuit. Does Elon Musk actually have a case against the ADL?
Look, I doubt there's a real case in there. I think Twitter and X now has had some business issues for quite some time, but at the end of the day, I think we have to remember that even putting this in context, even before Musk took over, Twitter was already a cesspool of anti-Semitic hate and vitriol, but regrettably under his leadership, it has essentially become a free-for-all for anti-Semites, neo-Nazis and white extremists to attack Jews, to express the most vile anti-Semitism. And when Elon Musk became involved in this campaign, in promoting the ADL campaign, he legitimized and he elevated all these haters. At the end of the day, Twitter is not a public platform. Twitter is a corporation, and it's Elon Musk's responsibility, his choice, whether to be a free speech absolutist as he claims to be, or to be a responsible leader and to draw a line in the sand.
Mm-hmm. Now, Elon Musk clarifying that he's not anti-Semitic, right? But he is engaging, as you mentioned, with sort of well-known, self-proclaimed anti-Semites, white supremacists, boosting them on Twitter, as we saw with the ADL. What's your take on this?
Look, I don't think Musk is an anti-Semite. I do think he might have a tendency to gravitate towards conspiracy theories, but the problem here is that in engaging with these anti-Semites and white nationalists, he has elevated this campaign into turbo mode. What was otherwise relegated to basically a small group of neo-Nazis, white extremists, and conspiracy theorists hardly had any notice, any attention until Elon Musk got involved with his 150 million plus followers, and obviously then the media's attention, and this blew up into one of the most explosive issues on the internet today, and really also the vitriol and anti-Semitism we've seen in response has just been, I think, something unprecedented.
Mm-hmm. Now, you yourself have a lot of followers on Twitter, and I'm sure that you've really encountered a great deal of anti-Semitism. Do you really feel the difference sort of in when you're online engaging with your followers before Elon Musk took over and after? Do you really see a rise or feel that rise?
I certainly do see a rise in anti-Semitism online. Partly what happened is, a lot of the issues which were in place and preventative measures prior have been removed. Things like moderation, things like removing material that's been flagged as hateful or inciting. He's also brought back a number of users who were previously banned precisely for expressing such kind of vitriol and hateful material. We have also seen reports and surveys showing that in the more or less period since he took over, there's been 100% plus increase in anti-Semitic material online. So Elon, I don't think is helping the situation by elevating this hateful material
and engaging. Although he seems to be in denial about this or outright rejecting it.
Look, he obviously he's rejecting it, and I think in a lot of ways he's using ADL perhaps as a scapegoat for his own business issues with Twitter. But I think we also have to remember that in the bigger scheme, the ADL is just they're not beyond reproach. There's certainly criticisms to be made, but the ADL is just a figurehead. It's just a scapegoat here, because those people that are promoting the Ban the ADL campaign, the white extremists and Nazis, they don't care that it's the ADL. It could be any Jewish organizations. For them, whether it's ADL or another Jewish group which you can insert, they view it as part of some kind of Jewish cabal of exerting domination, of trying to disrupt existing modes of society, of endangering white communities and so on. So really, ADL is just, I think, a figurehead and an excuse, which is, I think, all the more reason that we need to call out this campaign and urge Musk to show responsible and cautious leadership.
Let's talk a little bit about anti-Semitism. It's a growing problem online, but not just online. It's translating into the real world, into real-world violence. So what mechanisms or regulations are in place today, if any? You said Elon Musk has pulled back some of those regulations. Yeah. Are there still any regulations in place? Is there anything being done to combat this anti-Semitism?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's a very important point you made, and that, words have ramifications, have consequences, and history has certainly taught us, and certainly when it comes to the Jews, that incitement and hateful rhetoric, it transforms into action, it transforms into violence. We've seen neo-Nazis parading in the streets, and this certainly follows in the last year, whether it's Kanye, whether it's others who have now, actively promoting this on Twitter. So words definitely do have consequences, and there are a number of steps that can and ought to be and should be taken, both within the existing legal structures and also as a measure of corporate social responsibility. We've seen, moderation of Twitter content has been removed. We've seen that there needs to be greater transparency when it comes to algorithms, and certainly to ensure that material that is inciting such rhetoric is not elevated. there needs to be great enforcement of laws within the different jurisdictions where Twitter X operates to make sure the material that is hateful, that is inciting violence, is removed. And I would add one more. I think also when it comes to identifying what is or isn't anti-Semitism, I think it would be an important step if Twitter and Musk were also to adopt the IHRA, International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, definition of anti-Semitism, to also to guide of what is and isn't anti-Semitism online.
All right, well, let's hope that we'll see a marked improvement in online anti-Semitism. Arsen Ostrovsky, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Appreciate it.